So I wanted to do a little warm-up video. I wanted to show what my voice sounds and feels like before I start warming up. There's a lot of hormonal changes happening in my body right now, both with perimenopause and with general menstrual cycle stuff. And so being on hormone therapy, I take progesterone birth control tablets, and I also have estradiol patches. And I think it's important to remember that these don't stop perimenopause from happening. They don't stop your menstrual cycle phases from happening. It doesn't change the fact that hormones are still fluctuating. So that's kind of where I'm at right now this week, is just kind of dealing with fluctuation patterns, which means, you know, the tissues are a little bit thicker or a little bit stiffer than they would normally be. And I'll do a follow-up video in like a week maybe to compare, because I usually have more trouble post menstruation, because that's when I feel like the tissues are no longer thick and it takes a little bit more effort to recreate closure. So let's just explore. So there's that full transition down into chest voice. You can see things are kind of like wonky going through that passaggio area. They're not really sure where they want to settle. So I could force it, or we could see what happens if I let it coordinate on its own, and where do I need to give it a little extra help. Let's see. Now I feel like that middle range is getting a little more evened out, but I'm noticing it feels a little bit airy at the top. It feels, I don't want to say breathy, but it just sounds a little less clean than I would like. So again, just wait and see. So I'm really looking for that bounce. I'm looking for that release. You can kind of probably hear how the sound's going in and out as I go up and down here. I'm just trying to find it so that I'm not carrying any extra tension. I'm not carrying any weight, and that I'm really releasing for the onset as much as possible. That's why I'm creating this kind of like whoop, whoop, whoop sound, just so I'm not putting any pressure or any extra gunk. Just so I'm not putting any extra pressure on the closure for onset. it's feeling pretty good so far. It's only been 6 minutes. I'll take it. I probably wouldn't do much more than that for right now. I just want to like get things started, get things moving. I have some phlegm. I've been pretty dry. The weather's been pretty weird out here in San Francisco lately. So all of those things factor in, right? I have some seasonal allergy stuff that just creates a little extra postnasal drip. So kind of acknowledging all of that, like my ecosystem is just going to be wherever it's going to be. And every time I go to sing, every time I go to create sound, I'm really looking for how I can do this in a way that's the least amount of pressure on the vocal folds, because those little puppies are changing so much, right? For all of the reasons, not least of which is perimenopause and hormonal fluctuations. So that gives you a little like insight into how I see vocal warm-ups and how I approach vocal warm-ups, particularly from the lens of perimenopause and hormonal changes. I'm really looking to take any weight and effort and thickening and tension out of the voice as possible, and to allow it to coordinate on its own terms. And that really requires consciousness around glottal closure and what that means for onset. That really requires a high level of coordination between breathing and onset. And also the mental aspect of like, I'm not making any decisions around where my voice is yet. I'm not trying to fix it. I am giving it time and space to kind of get warm and vibrate and see where does it actually need help. And hopefully you've seen in this short little warm up here that I didn't have to do very much in order to kind of wake it up and to get everything moving and grooving again. I wanted to come back with a little bit of subtext here, which is you can try these exercises, but you don't have the information, you don't have the context or the subtext that I'm using in these exercises. You don't know how I'm breathing, you don't know how I'm creating or what I'm thinking about for onset and phonation. So you're probably not going to get the same results just by doing these exercises. But the point that I'm sharing here is not that if you do these exercises, your voice will be okay. These are just the exercises I'm doing. This is what I'm noticing, and this is how I am approaching my warm-up in the moment. If you have questions or if you want help kind of creating a practice that works best for you, please reach out. I specialize in helping female voices who are navigating big hormonal and physiological changes. And these are the kinds of exercises and the kind of detail that I work with to establish coordination through breathing, easy onsets, and ultimately the most effortless singing you can have, even when things feel like they're not going very well. Love you, babes.